I had an epiphany recently. If you're on a subscription and you want to be a responsible engineer, you should act as if you're paying per token. So I built a report into my AI harness. It runs after I finish every spec and it tells me what the whole feature cost. I didn't pay that. I'm on a subscription, but it's coming for all of us. The all you can eat buffet on AI is going to end. And when it does, these are the rates. And the bonus is that right now, cost is the best proxy for environmental impact. So spending fewer tokens is also the greener thing to do. In this video, I'll show you how token billing actually works, why your long chats quietly cost you more and more, and the 3 rules to keep it down. Stick around for rule 3. It's the one nobody does and it's the easiest. So subscriptions are already closed for enterprise on Claude Code. Since the end of last year, if you're an enterprise customer, you pay per token, no more subscriptions. And even if you're a solo developer, we've maybe got another year, but pretty soon we're all going to be on per token billing. So let me explain a little bit about how token-based billing actually works, because not every token is the same. I'm using Claude as an example, but most AI models have similar mechanisms. You've got input tokens and output tokens. Input is what you put in, the documents you give it, the stuff you type. Output is what it generates, and it's also how it thinks. Input is 5 times cheaper than output. That's because creating an output token costs more compute. More compute, more cost, more environmental impact. So straight away, a small thing you can do that cuts your environmental impact and your costs, just say, be brief in your responses. Fewer output tokens. Being brief is the small stuff. The real money, though, is what happens across a whole conversation. The cost compounds, and compounding is something I've always struggled with. It's probably why I never have any money. So I'm going to try to explain it with a graph. First turn, the first message in the chat, input tokens go in, some output comes out. The bar represents the cost, which I think we can equate to impact. Input is small, your prompt was small. The output is large because maybe it responded verbosely, and output tokens cost 5 times more. You respond, and that starts the second turn. And everything from the first turn, what you put in and what it gave back, all of it gets sent through again as the input for this turn. Plus whatever you just typed. And it keeps on going, and it keeps on going. So your first message in the chat might have cost you 5 cents. By the time you're on the 10th turn, each extra message is costing you maybe 20 cents. That's hidden from you on a subscription. On a subscription, you think every message costs the same as the last one. It doesn't. It compounds. That's why that report at the start added up so fast. Not one big message, hundreds of them, each dragging the whole chat behind it. So if you act as if you're on per token, what you do is kill a long chat. If you don't need to run it in the existing chat, start a fresh one with no baggage. The other thing you can do is run compact/compact, which deletes some of the old baggage. This is something I now do all the time, and I know I've advocated for breaking up work before, but I'll be honest, ever since I started staring at per token billing, I do it a lot more. I break up my long tasks into lots of small conversations, and I compact all the time. So a long chat should be a disaster, and it would be if there wasn't one thing that saves you. And that one thing is caching. Your input and output gets cached for the next turn. Writing into the cache costs a bit more, but reading back out of it costs a lot less, which for those of us who are technically inclined makes some sort of sense. So we really want to cache as much as possible. In a normal Claude conversation, even if you've got, say, 200,000 tokens, maybe the last 190,000 were cached. 10 times less cost, 10 times less environmental impact. But if you go idle for an hour on Claude Code, the cache evicts. And the next turn has to load the whole thing back in as fresh input. It costs you a lot more, it has more impact. So be active. Don't start a chat, wander off for lunch, then snail it across over the day. Stay focused and just stay attentive. And there's a hard wall on all this too, one most people misunderstand. That million token limit everyone talks about, that's the wall. All it means is that a single message, a single turn, can't have more than 1,000,000 tokens. It doesn't mean the entire conversation is capped at 1,000,000. The entire conversation might be millions upon millions of tokens, and you get charged for all of them. Here's a chat from a long session I had. It hit 800,000 tokens, and it's done the job well. If I type thanks right now, that would cost me 40 cents. I always used to say please and thank you to my AI. I mean, I've written about this before. But I've got to be honest, ever since looking at per token billing, I don't anymore. I either weave it into one of my last messages, or failing that, I mean, I just say it out loud and it's probably listening anyway. So just by diving into per token billing, you've already got 3 rules you can follow to be more sustainable and cost efficient with AI. 1, say be brief in your responses. 2, keep your chat small. The smaller the chat, the less old baggage it drags along on every turn. And 3, if you can't keep it small, at least stay active. Don't let it sit idle and get evicted from the cache. If you want me to take you through the harness behind that report and show you how it breaks a project down phase by phase, let me know in the comments. Until then, treat every token like you're paying for it, because soon enough, you will be.